You're watching NBA Now by Chat Sports. Coming up, an NBA Mailbag, where I take all of your NBA-related questions about the draft, free agency, this upcoming season. Basically, every question that you have, hit me with it. It's part of the beauty of what we do here at Chat Sports, as we are a very interactive YouTube channel, and we love you being a part of our shows. Let's start off this mailbag with this question coming in from Since85, $2 super chat. Trae Young will go crazy, Patrick Swayze, and be MVP. I'd be crazy to say that Trae Young isn't going to be in the MVP conversation next year, considering what Trae Young was able to do this past year. I think his numbers of 25 points per game on 44% shooting are going to get better with more experience, him continuing to hone in and perfect his craft, and just having another year underneath him. Now, I'm interested to see how some of these NBA rule changes are going to impact a guy and the game of Trae Young, but my guy is a walking bucket and a cold-blooded killer. EdBoy813, thanks for the $5 super chat. Yo, is Klay good though? I heard he wasn't even coming back this season to start. He's not going to come back to start this season because he's coming off ACL and Achilles injuries. And you can come back from an ACL in less than 12 months. I still think the Achilles tear is an injury that takes about a year plus to come back from. And when you're coming back off of two injuries, the significance of an ACL and an Achilles, you do not want to mess around with that and speed up the timeline. So whenever Klay Thompson feels right, that's when he comes back. And if you have to side on the side of caution, you certainly want to do that, because if Klay Thompson joins forces alongside the current construction of this Warriors roster, I think they could realistically be a top 5 team in a loaded Western Conference. Edlow, do you think Lonzo Ball will have a good future with the Chicago Bulls? I do. I love Lonzo going to the Bulls. I think he fits in so well there, especially around DeMar DeRozan, who can play off-ball or on-ball. Zach LaVine, I thought he had a really good Olympic showing, especially on the defensive end of the floor. You've got a really good big man in Nikola Vucevic. Patrick Williams is a very good defender who's getting better as an offensive player. Last year, if you didn't watch Pelicans games, you'd be surprised to see and hear that Lonzo Ball didn't play a lot of point guard. Zion Williamson played a lot of point guard, which was really, really weird, causing Lonzo Ball to play a lot off ball. So as he gets back on the ball at his natural position of point guard with that really special vision, I can't wait to see what he does. Let's get to this question from Rob. Who's better next season, Knicks or Sixers? Currently, right now, I think the Knicks are the better team than the Sixers. I think the Sixers kind of overexceeded expectations last year and played better. I don't think they really were the number one team in the Eastern Conference according to some of those playoff standings. I'm also trying to give a verbal shout out to the last two super chats. One coming in from Parker Briggs and EP. Thank you for those super chats. Bringing those in. Appreciate you guys. I do think the Knicks right now are the better team on paper than the Sixers, but obviously all of that changes as we're breaking this down live for you on our live show on Monday. When or if the Sixers trade away Ben Simmons. And if we do, we're going to break it down on our brand new Sixers channel. Speaking of those two channels, we launched a Knicks channel as well as a Sixers channel. Who do you think is the better team right now, working off that last point? NYK for the Knicks, PHI for the Sixers. Get your votes in the comment section down below. And we have a little bit of a competition going on with the Knicks and the Sixers in addition to who the better team is. The race to 1,000 subscribers is on, and over the weekend, the Sixers picking up a lot of subscribers and a lot of momentum, overtaking the Knicks. We're a short while away from the Sixers getting to 1,000 subscribers, but could the Knicks come back once again and overtake Philly? Chatsports.com/76erstv will take you to the subscription page for our Sixers channel. Chatsports.com/KnicksTV allows you to subscribe to our brand new Knicks channel. Move ahead in this mailbag with this question from Theo B. Rockets have young roster rebuild. What team is a good fit for John Wall? I don't think it makes any sense at all to have John Wall on the team. I really don't. I was so impressed with what Jalen Green did in the NBA Summer League. I want to see more out of Josh Christopher. Alperen Şengün was awesome. Usman Garuba didn't even play, yet I think he might be the best defender in this draft who has flashes of Draymond Green. All of those guys, in addition to KJ Martin and Kevin Porter Jr., Christian Wood, they don't fit the timeline of having John Wall on this team right now. So I'm trying everything I can to trade away John Wall to let those young players ball out and get a bunch of experience. Rakeem Sports, Warriors should trade Andrew Wiggins for Harrison Barnes. I think they're the same exact player. Andrew Wiggins and Harrison Barnes are the same exact player. And maybe because of youth, Andrew Wiggins is better right now than Harrison Barnes. I think that's an argument you could certainly make. Mike Sweet, thoughts on Grayson Allen to the Bucks, thought it was a pretty solid deal and could potentially start for Dante DiVincenzo until he's fully recovered. I said this out loud when I heard about the trade details of Grayson Allen being traded to the Bucks, that maybe it signals that DiVincenzo isn't going to be available for a little while, or DiVincenzo, who was on the trade block last offseason and leading into the NBA trade deadline, might be on the trade block again because he might demand more money in his future contract than a guy like Grayson Allen. If anything, you bring in Allen to replace Bryn Forbes, and Allen might be the better defensive player. I think that he's going to play well given the current cast of characters on that Bucks roster. As a depth piece, a guy who can shoot it, his NBA career has gotten off to a pleasantly good start so far. Eason, what happened to Taco Fall? Still in the Celtics. He's just an okay player. Way too oversized, way too slow defensively, doesn't shoot. He's just a guy who takes up a lot of space down low. I do think over time, if a guy like Boban Marjanovic can play and last in the league for a long time, so too can Taco Fall. Shamar Doster. If my Bulls trade Lauri Markkanen to the Hornets, I want PJ Washington or Miles Bridges. I like them both because they're better defensive players than really anybody that you have on the team. And if you can get anything back for Lauri Markkanen, try to do it. It is confusing to me why the Bulls are so steadfast on trying to trade Lauri Markkanen, basically making him a prisoner right now. Just let the dude go elsewhere. You have Vucevic on the roster. You were aggressive in free agency. Everybody's hyping up what you were able to do. Let Markkanen walk. You don't have plans for him. This is still a guy who's 24 years old, a big who can shoot some threes. He probably has a lot of suitors in free agency. I doubt that the Bulls are going to match any of those deals. So let the man walk. Let him be. Do you want more videos on our respective team channels here at Chat Sports? You got to subscribe. Producer Sam Brown is going to filter through those subscription links at the bottom of your screen. Also, they're in the description of this video right now. We have 16 channels here at Chat Sports now. Lakers channel, Warriors channel, Mavericks channel. All of them have a lot of subscribers. Lakers, we're trying to get to 40,000 subs. Warriors, we're up to 20,000. Video of Andre Iguodala and 30K Oubre popped off on Friday. Dallas Mavericks, we're almost at 15,000 subs. Celtics today has been growing like crazy. We're north of 7,000 subscribers. Only, 47 subscribers away from 1,000 for our brand new Sixers channel. And the Knicks, right behind Philly, 821 subscribers. So you see all those links that are going through the bottom of your screen right now. Those links will allow you to subscribe. And if you're a fan of any of these teams, or you like to stay on top of everything that's going on with those teams in the NBA offseason, NBA draft, NBA free agency, NBA in-season, make sure you subscribe because more subscribers equals more videos from us here at Chat Sports. Idiot Taco. You're not an idiot. Do the Nets have money to sign Aldridge? Yeah, they could clear up some money for Lamarcus Aldridge and bring him back. I don't think he'd cost as much, especially because he's coming off some health issues. I think he's trying to chase a ring. He went to Brooklyn from San Antonio last year because he was trying to get that Larry O.B. So I would actually like Lamarcus Aldridge going back to Brooklyn Part 2. Tyler Reeves, thanks for this question. What exactly does it take to get Lauri to the Mavs? It'd take a decent haul because Markkanen is a good player with a lot of value at 24 years old, a big man who's a former top 10 pick who can shoot threes around 40% from three. So to get Lauri Markkanen, if I had to think about a trade, could you trade away Kristaps Porzingis? Maybe. Do you part with a guy like Jalen Brunson? Potentially. You'd have to get rid of maybe like some B-level assets to get a guy like Lauri Markkanen. Jeremy Vo Gaming, do you think the Toronto Raptors will be a playoff team next season? No. I think it's pretty clear that the Raptors are starting to rebuild. I'm interested to see and can't wait to see how Scotty Barnes develops. I was impressed with his summer league debut. Hit a 3 from straight away, played really good defense, tallied an 18-10 double-double. Efficiency-wise, shooting, he wasn't all that great, but I think the potential is there for Barnes to really become a good player because when I scouted him, the only weakness I had for him was shooting. King Rakeem reacts. Lakers should get defensive two-way player Lance Stevenson. I hope that's a joke. I mean, Lance Stevenson is washed. Lance Stevenson is too busy playing pickup basketball right now. Lance Stevenson can no longer be on a title contending team. I understand he was with the Lakers a couple years ago. Those days, they're in the rear view now. DM Zombies, what seed do you think the Suns are going to finish this year? The West is loaded. It is straight up loaded. I think the Suns are going to be in the top 4 mix. And if you say, oh, that's disrespectful because they were so good last year, they're not going to drop to 4th. A game could decide the 1 through 4 seeds next year, in my opinion, in the West. Uncle Jez, thanks for that super chat. Producer Sam, I'm not able to see those super chats right now because my internet once again is out, but shout out to that most recent super chat. Mike Mads 12, should the Lakers sign Lamarcus Aldridge if he returns next year? Yeah, I think Aldridge is in play for a team like the Boston Celtics, a team like the Brooklyn Nets, maybe even a team like the Los Angeles Lakers. I think Aldridge is going to go to a team where he can win an NBA championship this upcoming season. Didn't happen with Brooklyn last year because his season was cut short because of that heart issue. So Aldridge, go to a title contending team because if you get that, really adds to an already very impressive resume. Who is your least favorite player in the NBA right now? I'd have to think about that. Least favorite player in the NBA. During the playoffs, it was Trae Young. He was really annoying me. Got mad respect for his game. I thought what he did in the playoffs was great, but I'm a Sixers fan, and Trae Young put the dagger in my heart. John, with this question coming in, are there still any playoff contending teams right now that would be a good fit and have the money for Schroeder? Yes. I think a team like the San Antonio Spurs could be in play for Schroeder. There have been rumors linking Schroeder to the Boston Celtics. I think the Knicks are out, but they were a point guard needy team. I think, the Clippers are a team that could really use a point guard, but you bring back Reggie Jackson, so it doesn't make sense to bring back Dennis Schroeder as well. So I think the Celtics are the team to kind of keep an eye on. You talk about playoff teams, though, right? And I think the teams in the market right now for Schroeder are non-playoff teams. Qui-Gon Jin, what if Lauri and Giles to OKC, will the team be able to push into the playoffs? Yeah, it's Harry Giles. I don't think OKC is going to go to the playoffs with Lauri Markkanen and Harry Giles. I don't think they have enough veteran players or superstar talent. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is certainly on the cusp of becoming a superstar, but this is a team that last year tanked. This is a team that is valuing what the Sixers did several years ago, which is the process. Them losing games, compiling a bunch of draft assets and draft capital in hopes that they can become relevant in the next several seasons. The main point of that, several seasons. It's going to take a little while in OKC. T4K Smith 99. Dennis Smith to Golden State. Maybe as a guy who comes in training camp and competes for a back half of the roster spot alongside a guy like Gary Payton. That's it. So Dennis Schroeder, I think, look, coming out of NC State, I thought Smith had some upside. He had some potential as an athletic point guard who was bouncy, certainly provided a lot of Mavs fans and Knicks fans with some highlight reel-worthy plays because he had that Russell Westbrook, Derrick Rose type of athleticism. But he never evolved his game to even become a competent outside shooter or mid-range guy. Very one-dimensional guy who also wasn't the greatest passer either. Dr. Basketball, best remaining free agents. Funny you asked that because if you're watching us on our live show, we did break down our top remaining NBA free agents. I think Dennis Schroeder is atop that list. Lauri Markkanen is there. Josh Hart. Those are my top 3 best remaining free agents. CP Productions, what do you think about the Mavs? I think Luka is only going to continue to become better and better. And it's really hard to envision a scenario in which that's true, but that's how much I believe in Luka Doncic. I mean, this guy is already, in my opinion, a top 5 player in the NBA. Postseason success aside, I think Luka's going to continue to get better, maybe even more consistent. And I'd really love for the Mavs to bring in that bona fide number 2. They don't have that alongside him right now, but I do think the Mavericks are a very solid team with Luka as the main guy. Alizé Pin, if you were the Warriors, who would you go all in for? Ben Simmons or Bradley Beal? It's a good question because 2 guys are just vastly different players. Bradley Beal is a heat-seeking missile bucket getter. Ben Simmons, very good defender. I've become more intrigued with the idea of Ben Simmons playing small ball 5, and I understand that Draymond Green is still on the roster, but if you watch the Warriors offensively, and if you watched Team USA in the Olympics, Draymond Green was playing a lot of point forward from the top of the key and the top of the three-point arc, whereas Ben Simmons can play down low. So I think Ben Simmons as a small ball 5 would really intrigue me because if he neglects to continue to work on his shot and he can't shoot at all, he's a complete liability offensively. But if he's in the dunker spot, kind of hovering around the rim, putbacks, alley-oops, rebounds, tip-outs, playing all-world caliber defense, Simmons on the Warriors certainly intrigues me. Pick one to trade for, though, if you're Bob Myers and the Dubs. Type B for Bradley Beal, type S for Ben Simmons. Get those votes in the comment section down below. Like I said, I think both bring differences in value. I'd probably side with Bradley Beal, though, but I could see a path for Ben Simmons to go to Golden State.